Amos, what is that you got there in your hand?
Well, that's a tag I took off of the world's greatest TV set.
How you know that's the world's greatest TV set?
Well, it's right there on the tag, engineered by CBS Columbia.
Yep, that's the greatest.
Oh, yeah.
CBS Columbia, makers of America's most advanced radio and television receivers, present transcribed The Amos and Andy Show, written by Joe Connolly and Bob Mosier, featuring Johnny Lee, Ernestine Wade, Amanda Randolph, Millie Bruce, Fred Clark, Roy Glenn, Jeff Alexander's music, yours truly, Harlow Wilcox, and starring radio's all-time favorites, Freeman Gosden and Charles Correll. Amos and Andy!
Hello there, this is Freeman Gosden. If your house is anything like our house these days, it's probably buzzing with plans for the holidays. And the big topic, of course, is that Christmas shopping list. What to get for whom, and how can you be sure? My, how complicated it gets. Well, I'd like to make a little suggestion to simplify things for you. Why don't you go see all the wonderful new CBS Columbia radios at your dealers? They make perfect gifts for just about everyone. See the trim little portable that plays anywhere, the bright new clock radios that wake you cheerfully to music, the handsome table radios with their rich, full tones, and don't miss the fabulous CBS Columbia 360 radio phonograph, that superlative high-fidelity instrument that's such a delight to the true music lover. Yes, CBS Columbia radios take all the guesswork out of giving because you know they'll be well received. So stop into your dealers soon, won't you, before the big rush starts, and see the wonderful world of CBS Columbia radio gift suggestions. They are the gifts that keep giving pleasure every day of the year. Meanwhile, remember that CBS Columbia is a division of the Columbia Broadcasting System, the greatest name in home entertainment.
Well, the other evening, the Mystic Knights of the Sea Lodge Hall had their annual financial meeting. The Kingfish's books were in such bad shape it took him till after midnight to explain them to the Lodge brothers' satisfaction. It wasn't until after 12:30 that he approached the door of his apartment.
Well, let me get my keys out here and get into lock here. Oh, me, what a large meeting that was. Explain this item. What was this deduction? Why is they short here? Where's this and where's that? Nothing but question. Let me get in here where it's peaceful and quiet.
All right, George Stevens, where have you been till this hour of the morning?
Oh, Sapphire. Oh, Mama. I didn't know you waited up for me.
What's the idea of sneaking in at this hour? Where's you been? What you been up to?
I demand an explanation. Where have you been? What have you been doing, and what is the big idea?
Well,
That's a lie, and you know it.
Now, wait a minute here.
You is been out with some hussy, ain't you?
Yes, admit it, George, admit it.
Oh, don't be silly at my age.
Huh. I know you men. You ain't never too old to chase 'em. Why, Sapphire, the only way I could slow your father down was to take the tires off his wheelchair.
Now, wait a minute. Look, Sapphire, I was at the lodge meeting, and I can prove it. You can ask Amos or any of the brothers.
Well, all right, George, but if I ever finds out that you ever so much as looks at another woman, that'll be the last thing you ever do.
I'll say it will. And if I ever catches you, them Lodge brothers of yours is going to be doing some spring planting, and you going to be the petunia.
Oh, meat. Well, let me get in the lodge hall here. Well, I can at least get in my office here and take a little nap.
May I help you?
Yeah, well, I just want to... Oopsie doopsie, who is Yoopsie?
My name is Wendy Jackson. Did you want something?
Miss, who is you?
I'm Mr. Stevens' secretary.
Yeah, well, when he comes in, would you say, wait a minute, I is Mr. Stevens. What are you doing around here?
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Stevens, but I'm your secretary. I was hired this morning by the lodge members. They said all the books and the records were all mixed up, and they wanted someone to take care of them.
Well, now, let me tell you something, miss. This is going to be strictly business. I happen to be a married man, and all I want you to do is to do your work around here. To me, you is just a machine. You understand? Just a machine.
Yes, Mr. Stevens.
You see, what is that scent you wearing there?
Why, that's Chanel number 5.
Well, now, there's another thing, machine. In the future, I want you to lubricate yourself with something more or less stimulating. Well, I must say the lodge hall is nice and clean and efficient.
Well, Kingfish, how you like your new gal secretary that the Lodge brothers done hired for you?
Well, I only seen her once. I guess the gal is all right.
Yeah. Well, tell me this. Where is the honey baby doll now? Where is she?
Well, I think Miss Jackson's out to lunch, Andy. I got some dictation for her when she gets back. You know, I've been thinking this thing over. You take a lot of work off my hands, eliminate a lot of the headaches and trouble. Really make my life a bed of roses. A bed of roses.
George Stevens, you in there?
Yeah, where is you bum?
Speaking of roses, the aphysis has done arrived.
Well, I right here, Mama dear.
Huh. I see you got Andy Brown with you.
Oh, how you do, Miss Smith? It's a pleasure to see you.
Shut your mouth.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
George, Mom and me is going shopping, and we come down to get some money. So if you... Say, don't I smell perfume in here?
Perfume? Why, I don't. Say, Andy, has you been putting carbona on your hair again, boy?
Now, wait a minute. What's that desk doing set up in the other office?
The desk, that's for my secretary.
For you, what?
Let me at him, Sapphire.
Now, wait a minute, you hold each other there. Wait a minute. I got a secretary, but it's a male secretary, ain't it, Andy?
Oh, yeah. He's the neutral gender, all right.
Oh, yeah, nice fella, Mr. Higgins.
Well, that's different.
Oh, yeah, this Mr. Higgins is really a fine fella, fishing and all that. Now, I know that you two got to go shopping, so you better...
Mr. Stevens, honey, I'm ready when you are.
George Stevens, who was that?
Mr. Higgins.
I told you, Sapphire. I knew he was up to something. I knew it.
Now, just wait a minute, Sheridan. Now, wait a minute. I'm going to tell you the truth. The Lodge brothers done hired me a secretary. I, as a businessman, and it's perfectly normal for me to have a secretary.
Yeah.
George Stevens, that woman must go.
No, sir. There ain't nothing wrong with it. Perfectly normal with a man having a secretary. Look, Mama, she is staying. For once in my life, I'm putting my foots down, both of them.
All right, daughter. If that's the way he's gonna act, there ain't no sense in getting excited. There ain't no sense in raising our voice or losing our tempers. There's just one thing to do. Go home and throw the bum's clothes out in the street.
Well, Mama, George has been gone for 3 days. It looks like he ain't going to give up and fire that secretary.
Well, kicking him out wasn't enough. I got another idea. We got to fight fire with fire. Sapphire, you is going to get a job as a secretary.
But, Mama, you know I don't know nothing about being a secretary.
Oh, no, daughter. You ain't going to actually get a job, but that husband of yours is going to think that you have. Now, you see this item here in the society column?
Let's see. Oh, Mr. Clarence Thompson, local branch bank manager, announces his engagement to Miss Deborah Thorndike. Miss Thorndike is Mr. Thompson's secretary at the Lenox National Bank. an early marriage is planned. Well, Mama, what's that got to do with me and George?
Well, look here, Sapphire. The next time George calls, I'm going to tell him that you've got a job as secretary to Mr. Clarence Thompson.
You think George is going to be dumb enough to fall for that, Mama, and get so jealous that he'll fire his secretary?
Certainly. As they say in those ads in all them magazines, daughter, never underestimate the stupidity of a man.
Holy mackerel, Kingfish. You sure is loaded up with a mess of packages. You been doing your Christmas shopping?
No, sir. I was doing my Christmas hinting.
Your Christmas hinting?
Yes, Amos, you see, I can't come right out and tell my wife Sapphire I wants one of them new 21-inch CBS Columbia television sets with sweep tuning. That wouldn't show the proper Christmas spirit. So I just leaves these little items around the house, and when she sees them, she gets the idea.
What's in the packages, Kingfish?
Well, this one is a piece of tape here that measures exactly 21 inches long. That means that I craves the new big 21-inch screen.
That's smart, all right.
And this one here is a diamond ring that I borrowed. That shows that I admires the clear, sparkling picture that you gets from CBS Columbia television sets.
Well, Kingfish, is you sure in your own mind that your wife Sapphire is going to be able to figure all this out without you explaining?
Well, don't take much figuring, Andy. Now, look here. Here's a pair of slippers and a pipe. Don't that show you that I is a man that loves his comfort?
Yeah, Kingfish, what about it?
Well, now, with that kind of man, you just gotta give him the laziest kind of tuning there is. That sweep tuning exclusive with CBS Columbia television.
Yeah, well, that's plain as day, but how do you explain this one, Kingfish? This here ain't nothing but a ladies' compact.
Yeah, why, that's the idea, ain't it? That tells my wife the CBS Columbia cabinet is the most compact and the best lookingest she done ever seen. And the price is mighty compact, too. Just $165.
Kingfish, let's just suppose, for the sake of argument, that your wife don't catch on to all these crystal clear hints.
Got all that covered. That's the reason for this big package here.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one, all right.
Yeah, what's in that package, Kingfish?
That contains the new 21-inch CBS Columbia television set with sweep tuning that I've been talking about. Man, if my wife don't understand that hint, I just don't know what
I'm coming. Oh, it's you.
Good afternoon, mother-in-law, dear. Just thought I'd come home and talk to Sapphire.
Well, she ain't here. She won't be home till after 8. She's working late tonight.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Working?
Oh, yeah, she's got a job with Mr. Clarence Thompson, the manager of the bank. She's his private secretary. She started Monday.
Secretary, huh? Well, that's nice. I guess, excuse me there, Mama. I noticed the vase of flowers on the table there. There's pretty roses, ain't there?
Oh, yes. They're from Mr. Thompson. He sends her roses all the time.
Yeah, well, he must like her.
Crazy about her. Something bothering you, Baldy?
No. Just to sending my wife flowers and her working as a secretary, I just,
Yeah, you said yourself there was nothing wrong with a secretary. You said it was perfectly normal. Do you object to Sapphire having a career?
No. It's just that if she wants a career, why couldn't she get a job in the laundry?
Get on out of here!
Yeah, I'll get a note.
Mama, is he gone? Tell me, how did he take it?
Sapphire, he ain't in the boat yet, but I think the old flounder done swallowed the hook.
Well, this is something, Kingfish. Your wife getting a job with this Mr. Thompson as a private secretary.
Perfectly normal for her to be working. Fella got to be big and benevolent about these things.
Yeah, but I see the moving picture once, and while the husband was sitting around being big and benevolent, his wife and her boyfriend was being small and smoochy.
Now, listen, Andy, look here. This thing's getting me down. Hand me that telephone there.
Yeah, what you gonna do?
Well, wait a minute. I got the number of that branch bank. I done looked it up here. Yeah, I'm going to call up that Mr. Thompson over at the bank and see if I can find out which way the wind is blowing.
Yeah, that's right. There might not be nothing to it at all.
Wait a minute, Joe. Hello? Is this the branch of the Lenox National Bank? I'd like to talk to Mr. Clarence Thompson, please. Oh, we out to lunch? Then I'd like to speak to her secretary. What's that? She out to lunch, too? They does what? Goes to lunch together all the time? No, forget it. No message. No. Goodbye.
Well, Kingfish, did you find out which way the wind was blowing?
Yes, Andy, and I just got the nastiest weather report since the Missouri River overflowed the bank. Andy, this is terrible. My wife must be interested in this fella. She going out to lunch with him.
Oh, yeah. When they starts feeding them, that's bad. After all, you don't put gasoline in the car if you ain't planning on going someplace.
Andy, this is a terrible situation. My wife working for another man, going out to lunch with him, getting flowers from him. I'm going to put a stop to it.
Yeah, what you gonna do, Kingfish?
Well, I'm going to find out where this Mr. Thompson lives, and I'm going over there this evening. And believe me, Andy, if that man is interested in my wife, there's going to be a separation right there.
A separation?
Yeah, I'm going to separate that boy's teeth from his gums. That's what
Clarence Thompson speaking. Oh, it's you, Deborah, dear. Well, how's my cute little secretary this evening? What's that? Well, certainly I don't think we should change our plans. Yes, we'll go right ahead with the elopement. Well, even if your father is against it now, I'm sure he'll change his mind after we're married. Now, Deborah, I'm sure that we... Excuse me, the door, dear. Hang on. I'll be right back. Can I help you?
I'd like to speak to Mr. Thompson.
I'm Mr. Thompson.
My name is Stevens, and I has come over here to, excuse me, Mr. Thompson, you ain't standing on no box, is you?
No.
Andy, is I standing in the hole here?
No, you ain't.
See here, what is it you want?
Mr. Thompson, we wants to talk to you.
Oh, well, come in.
Thank you, sir, yes.
Just have a seat here. I'm on the phone in the other room, and I'll be right with you. I'm talking to my secretary.
Secretary? Oh, yes, sir. Holy mackerel, Andy. He said secretary. He on the phone right now with my wife, Sapphire.
Yeah. Let's get over here by the door and see if we can eavesdrop on him.
I'm back, honey. Oh, just 2 minutes at the door. What's that? How could I ever forget last night?
Holy smoke, listen to that, Kingfish. Boy, if this was California, he could get an annulment on that laugh alone.
Shut up, Andy.
Oh, that's sweet. You know, honey, about last night, I was so proud of you. You were the prettiest one there.
He must have took her to a dog show.
Wait a minute, Andy. Maybe he'll mention me.
What's that, dear? Oh, I wouldn't feel bad about pulling wool over the old man's eyes.
Didn't have to wait long, did we?
Certainly, dear. I think we should definitely go through with the elopement tomorrow night.
Elopement? Oh, no, this is terrible.
Of course he'll be upset. But after it's all over, I know he'll agree it's all for the best.
I will not.
Holy mackerel, Kingfish, there's eloping tomorrow night.
Come on, Andy, I've heard enough. Let's get out of here. Oh, Andy, I is broken-hearted. I'm broken-hearted.
Yeah, but Kingfish, you say if you found out anything like this, you was going to beat him up. Why don't you go back in there and punch the man in the nose?
I would, Andy, but a big fella like that might beat me up, and right now I needs all the strength I got just to suffer.
Hello there, this is Charles Correll. You know, one of the nicest things you can do for Christmas this year is to give a whacking big present of a CBS Columbia full fidelity TV set to someone you love. For example, yourself. Your family will be overjoyed, especially if you're sly enough to pretend that you bought it for them. Then on Christmas night, after the house has been cleared of the wrapping paper, the dishes, and the children, you can curl up with a turkey sandwich and watch television on the most advanced receiver ever made. CBS Columbia full fidelity TV sets are not plain ordinary sets. They have both full fidelity sight and 360 full fidelity sound. The picture is as sharp as 20/20 vision. The 360 sound system is a hi-fi bug's dream, with not just one but two extended range speakers. And the prices are so restrained, you'll think you're putting something over on your dealer. Always an added pleasure. So why not start now thinking some very nice thoughts for Christmas? Why not drop in for a demonstration of CBS Columbia full fidelity TV on your merry way home tomorrow?
Yeah, Calhoun, I come over here to tell you because you was one of my truest and best friends.
Thank you, Kingfish.
Calhoun, I will tell you, another man is stealing my wife away from me.
Another man stealing your wife? Ah! Kingfish, that's the funniest thing I heard in a long time.
No, Calhoun, this is serious. I love my wife, and I wants to prevent this man from stealing her. Now, what must I do?
See a psychiatrist.
Oh, look, Calhoun, this is the crossroads of my life. She's eloping with this fella tonight. I gotta stop it at all costs.
Well, now, that ain't gonna be easy to do. You gotta act fast, yeah. Who is this fella anyway?
Well, now, his name is Clarence Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
He's the manager of the branch bank over on Lenox Avenue.
Yeah.
Calhoun, what can I do about this here thing? Now, think it out.
Well, now, there's only one thing to do if you want to act fast. Get this fella thrown in the clink.
In the clink?
Yeah, go down to the main office of the bank and see the president and tell him this Thompson is stealing money from the bank.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, I is desperate. I'll get Andy to help me. We'll go down to the main office of the bank right now.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a terrible thing. My wife's spurning me for another.
Yeah, I know how you feel, Kingfish, because 3 years ago I had a gal that I worshiped. She was the only gal in the world for me. We was engaged. And then 3 days before the wedding, she eloped to California with another man.
That was sad, Calhoun.
Yeah, and just the other day, she sent me a picture of herself and her husband and her 2 children. I tell you, Kingfish, when I see that picture, my blood boiled. And I done the only thing I could do.
What was that, Calhoun?
I read her and told her the engagement was off.
So this is the main office of the bank, huh, Kingfish?
Yeah, sure is a big building there. Yeah, they got nice offices here, ain't they?
Yeah.
The woman said to wait here, the president of the bank gonna talk to us personal.
Yeah, well, you think we're gonna get this Mr. Thompson thrown in the clink?
Yeah, we work it right, Andy. Now, don't forget we is from the FBI. We done investigated this Mr. Thompson and found out he's a crook.
Yeah, I remember that.
Good afternoon. I understand you wanted to see me about something.
Yes, we is from the FBI. It's G-Man Stevens. This here is J. Edgar Hoover Brown here. We is from the embezzlement detail.
Embezzlement detail?
Oh, yes, sir. We is 2 of the biggest imbeciles they got.
What was that?
Oh, nothing, mister. We has been investigating the manager of one of your branch banks. Clarence Thompson, alias Indivolvo. He is alias Top the Till Taylor.
Now, just a minute here. Are you intimating that Clarence Thompson is dishonest?
Well, I ain't intimating nothing. I just saying the man is a crook. He is embezzling the bank's funds. And it's your duty to put him behind bars. That's all I'm saying.
Now, on just what do you base your charges?
Well, the whole thing started when my assistant, Mr. Brown here, went into the bank for a routine checkup. He thought it was funny when Mr. Thompson, the manager, was behind the paying cage.
Yes, I stepped up to the little window to get change for 50. I laid the money down, and he looked at it, and he say, "How do you want it? On the nose or across the board?"
I see. But if you're with the FBI, you must have some badge of office.
He wants to see our badge of office, ain't he?
Asked him what it looks like.
What do the badge of office look like, mister?
If you're with the FBI, you must have some authorization. Now, come on, what do you carry in your wallet?
Cigarette butts.
Wait a minute, mister.
Clarence Thompson is one of our most trusted employees. I don't know what your game is, but if you're not out of here in 5 minutes, we really will have the FBI around here.
All right, mister, we going. But if you find your escrow department tied up in a 3-horse parlay, don't call us. That's all.
Yes, Amos, the Kingfish done finally solved his problem.
Yeah, well, I was glad to hear the Kingfish has worked it out, but how'd you go about it, Kingfish?
Yeah, tell him, Kingfish.
Well, I know the only reason that Sapphire went to work was to make me jealous because I hired a secretary. So I made a deal with Sapphire. I told her that I would fire my secretary if she would quit her job with Mr. Thompson.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I suppose that's fair enough, but after the mess up in the books at the Lodge Hall, the Lodge brothers insist on you having a secretary, Kingfish. What you gonna do about that?
Yeah, how you gonna handle that, Kingfish?
Well, I done played that smart, boys. So there'll be no more trouble. I done told Sapphire to go down to the employment agency herself and pick out the secretary for me.
Oh, boy, that's great. That was a smart thing to do, Kingfish. Put it right up to her.
Oh, yeah. No more trouble, boys. From now on, everything gonna be peace and quiet, 'cause you see, come in. Oh, Sapphire.
Yes, George, and I brought your new secretary with me. Here she is.
All right, you no good loafing bum. Start dictating.
No.
Well, folks, we'd like to say goodnight for our sponsor, CBS Columbia, manufacturers of America's most advanced radio and television receivers.
That's right, folks. These sets are engineered by CBS Columbia.
We're inviting all of you to go in and see the brand new CBS Columbia sets for 1955. And when you do so, would you be kind enough to tell the dealer that Amos and Andy sent you? Thank you and good night.
See you next Sunday.
Be sure to be with us at the same time next Sunday for the Amos and Andy Show, transcribed and directed by Cliff Howell. Tonight's program was brought to you by CBS Columbia, manufacturers of full-fidelity television receivers. Now stay tuned for Armis Brooks, which follows immediately over most of these same stations.
Of the CBS Radio Network.